Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Joining me now is GOP strategist Gail Gitcho, who's a veteran of 5 presidential campaigns. Gail, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you again.
Great to see you again as well. And this really has been a week, especially on Thursday. Huge week in politics. I really want you to break it down for us. Let's start with Thursday. The special counsel's report on its investigation of President Biden's handling of classified documents dropped, and it found the president, quote, willfully kept classified materials, but it's not charging him. So let's start at the beginning. What's your reaction to that, and what do you think the political implications are?
Well, when the report came out that there weren't going to be any charges, it was sort of like, okay, great, let's move on to the next thing. But then when you read the special counsel's report, that's when things really changed. Yesterday, I believe, was the most consequential day that we've had so far in this election cycle. And yesterday was such a big day for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Supreme Court signaled that they are going to overturn the 14th Amendment argument that Colorado was making to keep Trump off the ballot. Now, that is a good thing for President Trump for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're going to have to put him back on the ballot. And number two, it signals to other states who are also trying to keep him off the ballot that they should think twice about it. The second thing that happened was the Robert Hur report. And the Robert Hur report was more damaging to Joe Biden than anything else has been and probably could be in this cycle. Americans, voters, everybody already believes that Joe Biden is too old to run for president. And Robert Hur got a chance to spend 5 hours with him over a period of 2 days. Now, in those 2 days, he spent all that time with him with access that nobody else really gets, probably besides his closest staff and his wife. And so he was able to write a report off of what he saw behind closed doors, and he told the truth about it. And that is so important because so many times we hear from the White House about Biden's health or his mental acuity, and they say, oh, he's fine. Well, Robert Hur wrote very specifically that his mental acuity and his age really were a problem.
In the report, it's highlighted that President Biden didn't remember when his son Beau died. He didn't remember when he was vice president. I'm going to read a quote that it was described, Biden was described rather as a, quote, elderly man with a poor memory. What is the most damning detail to President Biden in here? Because it certainly doesn't seem like it's how he handled documents.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the documents thing really doesn't matter. I mean, there might be a shred of interest if they were really classified military documents, but the interest is going to be on the report and the truth that Robert Hur told in that report. There's any number of polls that have been recent that have shown that the American people already believe that Joe Biden is too old to run for president. Just one that I can think of from late in January, the Reuters Ipsos poll showed that 70% of respondents in that poll said Joe Biden is too old to serve in public office. And of all of the respondents in that poll, 50% said that he shouldn't be running for president. So it's a real unifying issue when you have 70% of people believing that Joe Biden is too old to run for president, too old to serve in public office. There's really not very many 70% issues that I can think of, and this might be one of the most unifying issues in this country right now, is that Joe Biden is too old to serve and he's too old to run. Now, I will say that it is a very serious health matter potentially that he's facing, and so it's really sad to watch. And at a human level, for those of us who have seen dementia or something like that play out in our own families or in our own lives, it's very sad to see, and it's very painful. And for this to play out in such a public way is really devastating to the president and to his campaign.